Nero transition. All right. We are back with these boys for session 14. Let's get right into the recap and then into tonight's session because it should be a pretty good one. For the recap for session 13 of the Ringbreakers adventure, the team began their session within Nero's home on the arms of the Drake Crag Mountains. Traveling through the lively city on the way to their destination, they were able to make a few stops along the way, one of which was a stunningly beautiful open vista at the Volley Tavern, where they were able to stop for a quick lunch and say hello to the staff. Following this, Angene thought it would be better for them to stop by the Guild of Safe Travel to see their posted schedulings, a decision that ultimately gave them an overview of the new world where they have been living and gave them a sense where all of their individual homes lie on the map. After a brief moment of awe and questions about how exactly they got to be where they are, the team continued to press on towards their goal of finding out whatever may lie at the bottom of the mines that were used by the Bureau. Come on. Once they ran into the opposition around the entrance of the mines from an apparently high-ranking member of the mages, a proud-looking Leonin who issued a stern warning to stay away from the mines. Without much question or debate, the team immediately ducked away and found an entrance into the mine through what appeared to be a little-used exhaust shaft. Scouring through the caves and fending off some form of magically enchanted stone creatures, the team stumbled upon the end of the cavern path where there lay a dead thief and a force of power that acted as a barrier between the team and a small rotating force of spherical objects that were just beyond that wall. A strange being of previously unseen power challenged the team on their desires to enter, and with a powerful argument by the resident bar with a powerful argument by their bard, this energy form entrusted him with this power. This power, this energy, this spirit of its own revealed itself to be the power of spirit, and unto Angene gave him the power of healing. Immediately after this, the power being that stood with them in the cave made its escape, which alerted the mages outside of a change within the mines. However, the team surpassed the odds and was able to make their escape without detection, and we begin this session late at night in Fury Keep. So you guys were able to, I forget who natural 20'd it, but you guys were able to stealth check your way out of the caves and make your way past all of their detection. Goodness gracious, Viking. No, there's no clam down. That's for the other team. But I figured I need to keep one of the groups sober. But anyway, so the night you guys had gone into the cavern, it was July 3rd. You guys can, I can't remember exactly what time we left off. I think it was about somewhere between the midnight to 2 a.m. hour. You guys are well enough away from the caves, and as far as you know, the mage forces and whatever guard were with them are more than likely within the cave at this moment, currently searching for you. So you guys are on the northern side of the city, on the northern arm of the Drake Crag Mountains. What would you like to do?
Well, seeing as it's pretty late, I think Angene is definitely going to be... Now, when we passed that one tavern, I can't remember quite right, that was like a tavern / inn, like the one with like the
Volley Tavern with the portal.
Yeah, that had, and that was an inn as well. There were like rooms for rent there, right?
I believe so.
I don't know if you guys asked.
Where did we stay?
I thought I did because I remember thinking about that, but I couldn't remember your answer.
If you asked, then yeah, because I remember, because you guys had a conversation with one of the workers. I think there were
Farah.
Yeah.
Afra? A-P-H-R-A? Yeah.
Yeah. Afra. The, yes. But, yeah, to make things quick and easy, yes, it is also an inn.
Then Angene would just suggest that, if you don't mind, I think we should just go back to there because, I don't know, I'm ready for bed. Especially after the kind of day we've had.
I agree. We should definitely get some rest.
Right.
Hey,
Go back there.
I'm bushed.
Yeah, easy enough. You guys are able to make your way through the town relatively easily. At this time of the night, there's really not very many people out and about. You guys know that most of the clientele is the wrong word, but most of the people in this town, as mixed and varied as they are for the most part upper nobility, or at least they all seem to be relatively well off, and there isn't much for them to do at this time in the night. And so if you guys remember your evolutions, everybody had their own song. This current song is Rachel's evolution song.
Very nice.
Fun trivia. But yeah, to paint the scene once again, the current version of the tavern remains the same, although it's at night this time, as you guys are able to find this hole-in-the-wall tavern where, if you guys remember, last time you had looked through the window where the glass was a little frosted and it was somewhat difficult to see inside, you see pretty much the exact same image going on that you had seen the first time you saw it, where it looks to be a dingy bar, kind of a low dying fire roaring. One person is lazily walking around collecting mugs and plates, and one person is passed out half drunk on one of the tables. But as soon as you actually open the door and go inside, you are greeted by the same open vista on what Harratuk knows is the southern side of the Drake Crag Mountains. This time the night sky is absolutely filled with stars. You guys are still able to find Afra. I think she gave you the name of her sister. It's Isabella. Isabella with a Y.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And I'll do the descriptors again just for John's sake, since we have our guest. Both of them appear to be well, I guess it's like they're kind of similar, but they're also really different in a lot of ways. So we'll just go with Afra for now, and if Isabella comes up, I'll go back into her. Afra is the very tall and thin, elderly-looking woman with very long white hair that reaches down her back. She wears a very simple green dress that runs down to her shins above her white shoes, and she has a belt with matching bracelets that seem to slowly change their coloration throughout the day. She has very fine cut facial features that have sunken wrinkles beneath very vibrant yellow eyes. The eyes do not change color. And when she speaks, and she smiles at you guys very often, she's very polite. She seems to be very kind and warm. You can see elongated fangs. But for you guys, one night for a few people is relatively cheap. We'll say, okay, well, it was going to be cheap, but with that die roll, it's 12 silver.
With that,
What's that?
are we splitting that?
Is that Peru?
One cost.
That's
Where is
fine.
my...
So 2 each.
I don't have any change.
3
I've
each.
got change.
There we go. I'll slap a gold on the table and just keep the change.
Wink.
She like looks at you like,
I'll put another gold up there and look at Alena and then look back at the tender. Like,
she thanks both of you. Kyle. 10 silver is a gold.
This isn't World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay, that was on purpose. Okay.
I just realized that. I'm sorry.
Keep the change.
You're stiffing me.
I will pay you 12. I will pay you 1 gold. No.
The negotiator.
Fucking keep
Here, wait, let me roll persuasion. I rolled a 14 to persuade for 10.
I think you'd have disadvantage because you'd shortchanged her.
Oh, that's in that one.
Oh no! Yeah, so that's when Karl steps in. You know what? I'm gonna count that natural one. Oh my god, Alena. Ones. 1. Amazing.
What a way to start.
Anyway, so the last time you guys were here, you noticed that once you had stepped into the open vista and you had seen the tent that covered their tables in their bar, once you had entered and actually closed the door behind you, the door frame itself remained floating in the space. And then I believe that was the only one that was visible at the time. Once you guys properly pay for the rooms that you are going to need, Afra, she seems to do some waves of the hand, and she almost, you get the sense that she's been doing this for a very long time, and for a lot of people. It's a joy for her to be able to cast some kind of magic, because now that you guys are casters, you're at least familiar with what it looks like when somebody is actually casting. And with a wave of the hand and a smile with the fangs as prominent as ever, she is able to manifest a door in a similar, in a way that I guess you guys haven't seen. She is able to manifest a door for you, one that floats in space the same way as the door to the outside world back in Fury Keep. Since it's a one-night affair, she doesn't tell you how to re-summon the door, but once you guys go through, it's a pretty standard room. It's nice enough, has a nice view of the mountains from where you are. So I'll go down the list alphabetically as usual. Is there anything you guys would want to do in the night? Any conversations? Alena, start with you. No. Angana, I'm seeing no.
No.
Harratuk?
I know it seems like almost a month ago, even though it was yesterday. But I'm sorry I didn't use your bardic inspiration. I noticed you tried to help me out with your music. I kind of froze up. My bad.
Oh, you're fine. I just wanted to help out.
Next time.
Okay.
Karl?
Is there room service?
Harratuk hungry.
No, as soon as you guys got to the tavern and only Offer was there, her the other person who was behind the bar is not there, and she tells you that the kitchen's down for the night.
I go to bed.
Great. Now he's gonna starve.
That was his only food. Dude, I imagine Harratuk would just go to bed so hangry, like just really irritable. Anyway, Karl, anything?
No.
Very nice, yeah. Nice quiet night for everyone. No particular disturbances. Morning comes. You guys are awoken by a soft knock at your door, and it is Offer coming in. She very politely just asks if there's anything you guys need, or or would want you have. Let's see, you guys would probably have gotten there. Probably around like 4 a.m. ish. So for all of you guys to get a full night's rest, it's a.
I only need 4 hours.
Right. But, is there anything Alena would do with that spare time?
Probably just look at the stars,
Okay.
Assuming that it's a clear night with the incantation of the room.
Beautifully clear, yeah. The colors and the depth of the cosmos that Alena is able to witness, like nebulae, just seem more vibrant. Starlight seems to twinkle in a way that Alena hasn't really hasn't noticed before, because all of her nights in the stronghold, it's not like, it's not the same level of light pollution as like we would know it in the metaverse here, but it was enough to where this is a very noticeable difference. Like, have the stars always been that prominent and I just haven't noticed? Like, Alena's feeling very dwarfed as an elf, and
do I see any shooting stars?
if it's above a 15, then yes. Alena does not see one. There doesn't seem to be. It's not that she's not looking for them. It's just she's not. It doesn't seem like tonight's the night for a shooting star. But yeah, Afra. Where I was going with that, maybe around 10:30 or so, she says it's the friendly maid warning that you guys are up, your time is about up for the room, and they have to get in and get it cleaned, but you're more than welcome to enjoy the tavern outside the room.
Oi, beer and breakfast it is.
Yeah, I ordered breakfast, of course.
Are you guys going outside the room?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
I just had to specify.
Yeah, I'm gonna be definitely going out to eat breakfast with everybody.
Sure. Yeah, you guys mark off, oh, wow. Man, my gold rolls are really high tonight. Each of you individually can mark off 6 copper pieces for a very full breakfast. And since it is a little bit later in the day, you guys do notice a few more people actually in the tavern enjoying the space. Many of them still have their winter gear on, because if you guys remember, it is actually winter in Fury Keep, and many of them seem to be doffing their clothes and just like basking in the sunlight. Like, oh, where has this weather been? And say oops, that's the wrong die. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Karl, make a perception check.
Ooh. 10.
10? Yeah, 10 is
I'm awake.
You think, yeah, you vaguely think that you're underwater. No, Karl is he's in the middle of taking a swig from the stein and is munching on some very crispy bacon. Just people watching, looking around, and sort of through a few different tables of people who are otherwise just paying attention to their own table and enjoying their own food, he is able to lock eyes with a somewhat feline-looking character who seems to be sort of staring back at both him and his friends with inquisition, is probably the best word for it. You can see can see they have, from what Karl can see, you can't see their entire person, but they appear to have a feline, I don't want to say shape or appearance, but feline facial features. Kind of an unassuming looking character, but is definitely staring back at Karl, has all black fur, pointed back ears, and very pale colored eyes.
I've never seen this individual before.
And they're probably 20-ish feet away. The Volley Tavern, all they have, you're in an open field. There's lots of space between tables.
I'm gonna turn around and look behind me. Then I'm gonna look back at the person.
There is a stunning vista before you, and there is a stunning vista behind you.
And then are they still looking at me, even though I look behind me and then look back at them?
You can see them almost like still looking at you, but doing that like looking away and speaking something as though they were talking to someone else.
I'm gonna lean over to my left, whoever's closest. Yeah, like, we're being watched, or at least checked out. And I'm gonna kind of nod my head in the direction of the the feline individual.
Yeah, each of you guys could hear that just fine.
Elena's gonna start looking around real drastically.
Like no subtlety whatsoever.
Who's there? What? Is someone watching us?
Where?
Put my head down.
I'm gonna as likewise like where? Ochi.
And so John, you are sitting with this person. You know who is that. Well, you know from your backstory who it is. I don't want to give it away just yet. And so they are speaking to you. Do you see that strange group over there? The one with the dwarf and the minotaur.
They seem like they might be a worthy bunch. Maybe a little weaker than you imagined.
I think I have an
Can
idea.
I hear what they're saying?
I'll give you a perception check, but it'll be at disadvantage just because there's a little bit more people here than there normally would be, and you're looking across tables.
That is a 6. So probably.
Angana's like it. By the time he's able to lock into the people who Karl pointed out, he's like, they're already up and approaching you guys. So, John, he continues to speak to you. I think I have an idea on how we can get you what you're after. Follow my lead. Come with me.
Right behind.
Don't look now, they're coming over.
Yes, so John, please describe your character.
So you are approached by a quite large half-orc who's dressed in all furs. He has medium green skin, more on the orcish side than he is on the half side, if you will. Large tusks come out of his very large beard that comes down and is shapen in multiple braids. He almost appears to be barbarian and regal at the same time. He carries himself well. Seems very charismatic. His chest is out, his chin is up, his neck is shown, no fear as he walks up to your group. He has war paint along his face. You can almost see hints of battle scars along his chest, his sides, his arms. This is not someone who's been known to be away or to shy away from a good fight. That's about what you see as he approaches.
He use barbarigal.
Barbarigal. That's a good term for it.
Yes, so you guys are approached by this character, as well as each of you can now see the black-furred feline creature who is wearing just a pretty regular jacket that covers their I don't want to meta too hard and say like light armor, but just very not to say light armor. I meant to tell you guys before the stream, I'm coming off of 4 days in a warehouse where I have to get up very early, and I'm a little tired, so bear with me. I might struggle a little bit.
I demand perfection!
Well, you're gonna get imperfection if that's what you demand. Anyway, this feline does approach you guys. You guys very immediately are. I don't know if you've spoken with anybody who has come up to you in a way that feels very gentle and very polite, but you can pick up that immediately this is what they are trying to do. So this feline approaches you guys. I suppose that you all may have noticed that I was staring at you from across the way, and I do truly apologize if that was rude, but I couldn't help but notice your strange composure amongst your group, and things of this nature are quite rare around here. You all seem remarkably well fitted for an area that is otherwise more aristocratic. And if it's not too much trouble, may me and my associate here join you? Just for a quick conversation.
Who are you?
I suppose.
What was that, Harratuk?
Who are you?
Oh, yes. Well, introductions would be in order, aren't they? My name is Shang. And my friend here is Signy.
And with the introduction of his name, he pounds his chest once and bows slightly.
He is a bit brutish in nature. You'll have to forgive him for his... And Signy, I'm very sorry to say this to your face, but for his lack of social graces.
That's fine. We're a little rough around the edges.
Kind of gesture to the rest of the group.
He looks back at Harratuk. Does that introduction satisfy your inquiry?
Sure.
Wonderful.
What do you want?
Well, first I would like a chair. Here we are. So he grabs a couple chairs for him and Signy, and they sit down and join you guys.
Signy plops down on the chair, and it makes a loud as his weight hits the chair.
Yeah, you guys can see Afra's looking over, please don't break. Oh, thank the gods. Yes. So as I said, my name is Shang. And I am actually the leader of the Disastrous Blade Gym. Maybe you've been there?
Nope, haven't heard of it.
Maybe not very
No.
well.
I thought you said this place was famous.
I put signs up. It's on the map. What am I to do? You guys actually did. You saw the name. It was between the gym and the maps that the coin toss won for the maps.
Okay.
Well,
wait, is that the one? That's the one there. Yeah, we saw that on our way past, but we didn't go in.
Well, it's just as well. It's been closed down for a little while. I've been in a bit of a funk lately for issues I don't care to go into per se.
You try a shower?
There's like a not a long pause, but like an uncomfortable pause. Like
Angene laughs like once or twice, like
he like.
That's how I get rid of funk.
Well, I mean, I haven't bathed myself in perhaps a any hoodles. There are many of those in the Masonic Defenders, which is the name of the guard. I think you guys know. Yeah, because I believe that's how they introduce themselves to you.
Yep.
Many of the Masonic Defenders, many of their initiates and their trainees come to my gym, and we spawn, we train, it's a whole thing. No one's ever bested me, but that's a different issue. And recently, as I mentioned, I closed my doors, and lo and behold, and he gestures to Signy, this intrepid young soul shows up on my doorstep, and rekindles an old spark in me to pick up the barbells, as it were. But I fear I am not in the proper condition to give him what he needs. And he gestures to him again. He is obviously quite strong, and he looks at Angene. What was your name?
oh, my name's Angene. Very nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you, Angene. And he's like looking at the both of you. I don't want to assume anything because that would be very rude. Are you also orcish in nature?
I say yes in in orc.
Signy recognizes it and just nods toward Shang.
I was gonna say he looks over at Signy like, what the fuck did he say? I see. Okay, that must have been an affirmation.
Close enough.
Close enough. I realize that this is probably an imposition on each of you, and I promise that I can make it with you a while. If you wouldn't mind taking on my associate here and helping them train, it doesn't have to be for very long, perhaps a week at the most, and helping them grow in a way I think that I don't have the ability to do. And he's looking at your guys' gear again. You all appear very well armed, a little scuffed, I suppose, a little dirty, but well armed nonetheless. And when I say, he like looks at Signy again. Sorry, I don't mean just like battling per se. You can probably tell at a glance he needs a little social work to soften up those edges.
I am soft enough, I believe. And he starts like pressing his pectoral muscles.
And if he's next to Karl, he's like, you see what I mean.
Oh, I do.
You don't have to do anything fancy.
I don't often do fancy work.
And he's like, I didn't mean, I was talking anyway. Is this something that may interest you? I can make it worth your while. I am more than willing to pay, because for the time that you will save me, the money, what I will be able to do in that time, will save me a great deal of money.
Does it seem a little odd that you're just kind of randomly coming up to us and
You'd allow me
asking us-
to maybe interject here momentarily. I'm new to this area, this city, place, buildings, and all that are not my forte. I'm looking for some things, looking for some information. I feel as though, he's helped me a bit, but maybe some people who've had some worldly experience would be of benefit, and I can lend a hand with things that you might need. And at the same time, we get a mutual training of sorts, a benefit to both parties.
I mean,
He gets what he. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
He gets what he wants. I get what I need, and you get an extra hand.
Well, by all rights, we've only been in this city for a few days ourselves, but we do have a few jobs lined up. We could.
Well, that's perfect.
Take him along with us and see where it goes. I mean, obviously, we can't really promise any good training. I mean, if your gym is as good as you say it is, I don't feel like we could really compare. But it's like I said, we've got some stuff lined up that could be of value.
Well, any training is. Go ahead, Angene.
To be fair, it sounds like you're not necessarily looking for more physical acumen, but more of a general experience, life experience acumen.
It could be both.
Well,
I mean, I'm quite the physical specimen, and he
indeed you are.
Muscle. But I might be less understanding of your ways and where you come from and other things that people talk about. He's trying desperately to sound smart.
Well, I can assure you, my friend, and I drop back into Orcish.
Mm-hmm.
There is no better opportunity to learn the intricacies of our world than to interact with the people, as it were. I would offer my services in helping you maybe becoming more loquacious and eloquent in your mannerisms. I hope this is something that you might find appealing.
So, he responds back in Orc, and quick, he said, "Go ahead."
Just for posterity, Vinny, what is your team hearing? What does half-orc sound like to you?
Okay, half-orc is kind of it's very rough. It's very guttural, and it's very like, if you think of, I don't know if you've ever heard of the dark speech or the fell speech in Lord of the Rings. But that's the language of the orcs, and it's very rough. It's Ashnazg, Dunbaltur, and so while I might be speaking eloquently-ish, but in an eloquent manner,
yes,
it does sound like just
you're soft-spoken.
Yeah, so like between Angene and Signy here, they're like, well, I would be more than delighted in order to aid you in such a noble endeavor. And you guys are just hunga dunga burgan. Like,
yeah, exactly. So to Signy, he hears a very dignified person, which is not something that he's particularly used to. And he responds in his normal brutish speech, but in Orc. And he responds with, I would be honored to learn your loquacious ways, trying to use big words, and to be voracious with your speechiferousness.
I love how Cygnus speaks with misspellings.
We'll definitely work on it, and I drop back into common. I think we can make great advances if you were to accompany us, and I don't know how the rest of the party feels, but I feel like this could be very mutually beneficial. I mean, another strong man in a group of strong men is just a stronger group.
He hears strong and he instantly flexes.
Can we spar?
If we're looking to drink and fight, we should fight other people.
I'll fight a number of people you've put in front of me. 10, 12, it doesn't matter.
So you guys are, you're approached by the other worker, Isabella, who she is of a similarly elderly persuasion as her. They look similar enough. You're able to figure out that they're sisters. She looks very similar to Afra, but where Afra is more, not petite, but more tall, and she's lean, and she moves with the wind almost. Isabella, not so much. She is short, but very muscled and highly toned, with elderly woman with a very short buzz cut of white hair and tan skin. She has a wide frame that supports her thick arms and legs, and she wears what look to be what may have been mage's robes at one point, the classic blue mage's robes, but she ripped off all the sleeves, and the color has long since faded. There's a number of holes and scrapings along the fabric. She wears black bike shorts that run down to just above her knees, and her face matches her body type, but she has very wide facial features with the same beady yellow eyes peering under constantly furrowed brows, and the same fangs that Offer has. And she comes up to you guys without really missing a beat, like slams her hand on the table, and even I guess Harratuk and Karl, I can't remember offhand who has a higher strength, but I think they're close enough. Even you guys are like, oh, when she comes in and slams her hand down. There will be no fighting at the Valley Tavern, gentlemen.
I didn't mean here.
Outside is more than appropriate.
Of course. Never fight in the bar. You always take it outside.
Not enough room to yell.
It is just proper etiquette. I mean, come on. What do we look like? Heathens? And I give her a big toothy grin, just emphasizing the fact that I have giant tusks and everything.
I look at the party. I look back at her.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we do look like a bunch of heathens. But
I was gonna say she looks back at Angene, and she flashes her own elongated fangs, like, yes, you do.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right, no fighting. Got it, ma'am.
Can we arm wrestle in here? Is that okay?
She looks Alena up and down. I'd have your hand so fat, so far. Damn it. I would have.
My strength is 16.
I know, but she looks at you. Your hand would be down on the table so fast I'd flip you over.
Are you willing to try?
She reaches behind her, and somebody was just like sitting in the chair, like enjoying their breakfast, and she just pulls it out from under them and sits down. She puts up her arm.
I say real quickly, I say, good luck, Alena. Bardic inspiration.
Ooh. What does that give me?
1d6, I believe?
6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she looks over at Angene.
I stare right back at her, this big toothy smile. Good luck.
Do you give her inspiration too?
Nope.
Okay. I was gonna say. Sorry. Let me. Where's my sheet? Probably just a straight strength check, I would imagine.
Straight
just
strength
contesting
check.
strength check, yeah.
Cool. Ooh. Dirty 20.
She had a 24. Oh wait, was that with your modifiers?
Yeah. Dirty 20 with
Dirty 20.
my +3.
So yeah, Alena doesn't wham like what?
And I did not use the D6.
Oh, okay. I already told you. Sorry. I didn't know if you wanted to or not.
Use the D6.
Well, I already told you the result.
Well,
Yep.
it would have been a 24.
Should have said it a little earlier. So, you can see that the muscles are straining in her shoulder. She didn't put Alena down as fast as she wanted to, but still, after the course of Alena puts up a very good match. Certainly better than what she was expecting.
That's all I wanted.
But boom, Elena's wrist hits the table.
So we can arm wrestle in here. And I hold out my arm to Signy.
Oh. Ooh, okay, let me, he starts stretching, like, obnoxiously.
Yeah, Shang is...
It's been a minute.
I clear space on the table.
Shang is in his chair like, when did I lose control?
As you brought him over.
As soon as you brought him over.
Isabella, like, dead eyes Angene. No help this time.
What? I was just
I
giving
know
you
what
good
just...
luck.
Signy puts his arms up, and you can see the second his elbow hits the table, he just flexes every muscle he possibly can in some, like, almost a pseudo, like, macho manner, like, ooh, look at me. And he says, if you would like, I mean, more than happy to do a little bit of hand wrestling.
Alright, I'm gonna try to...
Oh my.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna hold out my arm. I'm gonna try to intimidate him with my glare.
So, Signy, so...
Last arms.
Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. So for PC versus PC interactions, I actually don't call on rolls for certain things. Obviously, for contesting strength checks, I'd have to. But so Signy, based on the life that he's lived and the things that he's seen, so Harratuk, he doesn't know his name yet, but the Minotaur in front of you is not exactly a small opponent. He's... How tall is Signy?
6'5".
Harratuk is 7?
I think something stupid like that, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of height on Signy. And he's probably closer to Signy's father in size, actually.
Yeah, pretty close.
So you can determine if this hulking mass of destruction before you would be something that he may be intimidated by.
I would say that Signy has grown up in quite a wild environment and has taken down a mighty beast or two in his day, mostly because he was involved in a majority of hunting parties since he was young. I don't want to sound rude to Harratuk, but he almost sees him more as prey at this point rather than a humanoid. So I don't think that Signy would be intimidated by Harratuk.
Fair enough. If you guys... So, did Harratuk put out his hand?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, contesting strength checks.
All right.
16.
13.
Oh, it's another battle of muscle. And Signy and Harratuk, they're at a stalemate for a few seconds, kind of wavering between either direction, and Shang is like peering out for a little bit, like, oh, he might do it. And then as soon as Signy starts losing, he's like, oh, shit. And Harratuk really starts leaning into it, and it just starts to get Signy's hand down. And he's got veins popping out of every muscle, including his eyeballs. And then he just can't stop it, and bang, his hand hits the table.
So the moment his hand hits the table, he looks down dejected for almost half a second, and then he stands up and yells, and he goes, "All the more reason for you to train me!" And he looks directly at Harratuk when he says it.
Does Signy have any weapons?
He does. Signy has a large battle axe on his back.
On his back, okay.
He's not shy about showing it.
I also have axes, great axe or something. I say, I'm Harratuk.
Signy, it's fantastic to meet you. And he holds out his hand.
His
friendship.
Yeah, shake hands.
He grabs it a little harder than your average handshake, almost like, I'll get you next time, and shakes it very vigorously.
I don't know that Harratuk has received many handshakes, so he's kind of baffled.
Probably more like hoof shakes, I guess.
Do Minotaurs have human hands?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
It was a bad joke. Yeah, but as soon as Signy gets up and yells, offer, like, she stands up, and Sheng is like, 2 rounds. And she was, like, approaching Signy. Twice the money. I'll pay for it. She walks off. And he looks down and then back up at Signy like, oh, Lord, fantastic. Signy, please sit back down. You're causing a scene.
Yes, of course. And he sits back down hard again.
Anyway, as I was saying, it is not unusual for people to come to me for their requests of training, to train other people and so on.
He knows a lot of people. He won't stop saying hi to everyone he passes.
Yes, that part is true. I thought that maybe it would be sort of cosmically balanced in a way, if I were to perhaps ask someone else for that same favor. What do you say? Looking
and
at
similar to the previous smile that was given, he also gives a big toothy grin with his almost not rotten but kind of gross teeth kind of shown, just as like he kind of like leans in next to him, his friend, and he just goes,
and just like very quietly, Signy, you can hear like, you're not making this easier.
sit up straight.
It wouldn't be very long. Perhaps a week, if that's not too much. Signy, I'll tell you. Let's make a week, starting today. Maybe that'll be the starting point, and then within that time span, if you think you've found what you're looking for, you can bring them to the gym, and perhaps we can spar then. I haven't been bested yet, but I don't know. There's something about you lot. Maybe this will be the first.
This Harratuk is pretty strong. I don't know.
Yes, well, not all battles are won by strength alone.
I don't know. I feel like he might be able to snap you in half. Sorry. You're a little skinny.
I'm also hard to catch.
Fair enough.
I hate to interject, but how do you spell Signy?
Signe.
Okay. Just me.
I mean, I'm honored to join you for even if only a week. You're much more formidable than you look like, from a distance.
I would say welcome to the Ringbreakers then. I feel like we're all in agreement.
The Ringbreakers? Is that?
They almost say it in unison. The Ringbreakers?
That's our group name. Long story short, we had some magic rings on us for a couple months and we broke them. So
you should be more careful.
No, they needed to be broken.
Oh. Yes, of course. I mean, obviously, if there's a ring, it should be broken. He has no idea what he's talking about.
We would not be here if we still. Oh, and they were on our wrists, not fingers, but we would not be here if we still had them.
Would you not be the bracelet breakers then?
They were called rings, where we came from.
And Shang is looking at Alena like very inquisitively, like, were they magic? Or...
Yes.
And you broke them?
Yes. I mean, we had some help, but I actually we had help from the guy who made them in the first place. But yeah.
Crafting is very important where I come from. I don't know of a crafter who would ever break his own craft.
Hold on a second.
Oh.
Hold on.
Of course.
You broke magic rings from the man who made them. Who made
Yes. Archificus? The mage?
Alena.
Over in Ilui Vale?
Hey, Alena.
Yeah? Oh, am I saying too much again? Oh, I tend to do that. Once you start, the information just kind of flows.
them? Yes. No, I understand the importance of information. Believe me. Archificus.
Just being cordial, you asked.
Yes, he was quite the mage in his day, from what I understand, and I don't think he's been here for... Where is he?
Ilui Vale is where we left him.
Ilui Vale's where that old man went.
I assume
That's-
he'd still be there.
That's valuable information. I owe you one.
Thank you.
Thank you. He's like looking at Harratuk. No, it's nothing like that. And he just like he opens his palms. It's not going to be bad. Don't worry. And just a very soft light just begins to glow from his hands. Not like a firelight, like glowing kind of ethereal, like sunlight colors. I am something of a caster myself. He is very renowned. He went to university here, actually. Are you all familiar with the university?
Oh, we haven't been there yet.
We have heard of it, but
I've been there. You took me there. I've been there.
Yes, as I was going to segue into, the university campus grounds are second to none in their splendor. Their prestige is second to none. Their courses, their power, their understanding, their mastery of their subjects are second to none. And from what I understand from the history now, I didn't attend myself. I am somewhat naturally gifted, although I think there is something to gain from old books. I did not need them per se. Archificus did attend university, if my memory serves me. But he left rather abruptly some 200 years ago? Something like that. I don't remember exactly. I'm not that old, so that's one of the things I've read.
dang, that's
200.
really old.
Didn't realize he was that old, but
And he looks at Alena again. Are you not Elvish?
no, I am. He seemed more mid 150s than 200s.
Well, I don't know if I can quite comment on the aging of elves myself. I am not of their kind, obviously. But nonetheless, the campus is wonderful. Should you need a tour, Signy is an excellent, albeit flippant tour guide, if that is something that you're looking for. And
I could be quite flippant if you'd like.
and he stops you immediately. Do not flip anything. No, that's then.
Okay.
No.
He takes his hands off the underneath of the table.
Like, this is. It means off the cuff.
I lean over to Karl, like, I like the cut of his jib.
It means.
He fits in really well.
You know, sometimes you want to see that thing, you want to see that thing, I'll give you a tour, whatever, you want to see, you can lead it. I'll just tell you some fun facts. He really doesn't know that much. He's just trying to fit in with whatever is said.
Well, have we talked about the matter of, or the arrangement of payments then?
Yes. What would you think is a fair price?
Well, it truly depends on the nature of what you're expecting from us, I suppose.
Well,
I would imagine that if you're expecting expertise, then expert pricing might be more in order. That being said, those are tall expectations to live up to, so why don't we say a fair, I don't know, 50 gold?
50? Oh.
Even Stigney is taken aback at that price. Noticeably.
Well, at this time, Isabella brings over 2 steins for everybody, full of, well, whatever drink you choose. The steins, the clear glass mugs that she hands you, seem to know what your favorite beverage is, and it fills with whatever your favorite beverage would be.
Cheers.
Harratuk chug-a-lug.
I say cheers to a deal.
Cheers to
Stigney
a deal. Clink.
Chugs the first one down, and he holds the second one in weight of an actual agreement being made.
If come back to my gym at the end of the week or whenever Stigney feels he is ready, and I'll give you 50 gold and a little something else that will, how do I want to phrase it? Prestige is the wrong word. And he looks at Angene. You seem to have a gift for speech, which caught me off guard, admittedly. A word for demonstrating your ability.
A word for demonstrating your ability?
Yes.
Performance?
Performance could work. Come back to my gym at the end of the week. I will be there. If I don't answer right away, knock loud. So long as it's within normal hours, I like to sleep in. Especially, there are times where the sun just comes through the window just at the right light, and I will just bask in the sun. Anyway, 50 gold and a little something else to show your demonstration of performance.
Well, I suppose that can be... that is acceptable to us, I would say.
Wonderful. And then he looks at Stigney.
Now? Can I now?
Yes.
Now. And he slams the cup on the table, stands up, cheerses the whole bar, and looks around at everyone who's not really paying attention to him, and just chugs the beer and slams it back on the table. And continues to stand.
Yeah, and Stigney tries to slyly, like behind his mug to Stigney, try not to get caught behind pillars you can't squeeze between, my friend.
He hears that, and he kind of tries to give you a sly wink, but it winds up just being a like a big ol' I gotcha.
And Harratuk, make me a history check.
Ooh. Getting historical in here.
Big gulp. If you said something I didn't hear it, you're muted.
10.
10. So Harratuk, he takes a big swig of the mug and is like, a deal has been made, huzzah! And he just barely catches this phrase from Shang. and something pings in his mind, like, that was something along the lines of how Sophia would speak to people. But he's not really able to parse it out. But it's very quick. It's very fast. Before
Shang? How Shang talks?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just confirming. Okay.
Yes, it's very quick, and then he goes back. 50 gold it is.
Glad we could make an accord.
I after this round, and he looks at Isabella, and some previous tabs that I think she's going to bring up again that I need to pay. I won't have quite all that money on me at the moment, but as a show of goodwill, if I could add your room tabs and your meals to my tab as well, as a show of goodwill.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be nice.
I won't say no.
Wonderful. Well, I'm late for about half a dozen things. Signy,
Yes.
don't flip anything.
Of course.
There will be plenty of opportunities to flip things.
I will show you my
Don't
flipping
worry.
skills in time, but
Excellent work.
my friend here said no, so I will take a little break.
Outstanding.
I'm excited. I met very few folks from outside my hometown, and this is a new experience for me, so, bear with me a little bit. But
Understandable.
I hope I can lift things up and maybe throw a few people for you.
We would definitely employ you in that manner.
Okay. I'm going to leave before another bill comes my way. And he'll stand up and give a slight graceful bow. Gentlemen and miss, please have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
And as he's walking away, he just points at Alena. I owe you one.
I look forward to it.
And he'll walk it back out into the streets. And as soon as you guys see him open the door back to Fairy Keep, there's just a quick little bluster of snow that comes in, which it's kind of a reminder, oh yeah, it's easy to forget that. But it is just you guys at the Folly Tavern.
Well, I reckon we better get back to, what was that old man's name? I had it.
Father Dakra or Den Skimpleton?
Den, that's right. Make our way back to Den to report the findings in the mine. And if we are going to be moving there, I'll go ahead and explain that and everything to Signy.
Okay.
I know you had mute for noises. Just nod or shake your head. Excuse me. Explaining what you guys were doing for him.
Yes, I'm going to purposefully omit the things about the.
That was my next question.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, Signy, you get a bit of a breakdown about this visually very wealthy-looking man who they had ran into during their journey. And Vinny, just stop me if I say too much. That they ran into this very wealthy-appearing individual who was arguing with a few others, and they quickly fill you in that the wealthy man, Den Skindleton, works for the
Does
guild.
that Den with an E, D-E-N?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Works for the Guild of Safe Travel. I'm sorry. He works in tangent with it, but he actually works for the. Oh, it's such a long name. I can never remember it. Give me 1 second.
Napambla.
No, That would be really funny if that is what it's spelled. That would have been very clever on my part. He works for the Locomotive Registry and Destination Bureau. They are responsible for the manufacturing of the train system, or parts for the train system that runs through the nation. Parts of the nation, as well as Father Dakra, who is a priest, as well as... Did you guys get the third guy's name? I believe you did. I don't remember.
I don't have a third name written down, unless Nero was... I have Father Dakra and Den Skippleton written down.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, but what they were doing for Den, he let them know that there was something within the mines of the mountain that was preventing him from being able to continue his work, where they were actually mining resources. And the Vinny, well, I guess he really couldn't get around it. Would Angene mention that the mages were involved?
Yes.
Okay. So he would mention that some apparently high-ranking looking mages were involved in preventing them from actually entering, and they had to use their sleuth and cunning to find another way in. What would Angene say was the issue? I wonder.
There was some kind of magic wumbo-jumbo nonsense going down there, but it turned out to be just a bunch of fluff. I don't know what exactly they were looking for, but I don't... Mentioning, yeah, just a bunch of weird stuff going on down there.
Not many weird things go on like that around my parts, but I think I get you.
It's a magic town. You got the college next door. I'm sure things go off all the time to where who knows what happens around here, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we were literally in a room inside a tavern that wasn't inside a tavern.
He looks a little confused by that, but he doesn't say anything.
Well, like, you know, we were just inside of a tavern, but it was outside in this open, beautiful area, and now, you know, inside of a town that's just cold and snowy. Like, there's just magic stuff everywhere around here. It's weird.
Yeah, you can almost feel it, like, in your chest, you know, like you feel like this almost presence, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that. Yeah, I get it. When I was staying at the that college that what's his name mentioned, and yeah, I've been staying there, and you can kind of feel like whirling in the air, you know, like something there, you know. Like it's not there, but it is. You know what that means?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I don't know. So what do you guys think about that Shang guy? I haven't met a lot of people. He was one of the first ones I ran into, and do you think we can trust him?
Seems like he's looking out for your best interests.
I got no issues with him. I mean, he's paying us, so good in my book.
Okay.
I think it's a little odd that he's outsourcing his training, but
he seems like a busy fellow. I don't know, maybe he just doesn't have the time, and he seemed to take a little bit of an interest in me. Maybe he wants to, you know, bring me back when I'm a little stronger. I don't know. I mean, I felt like I was pretty strong myself, but I don't know. I'm not sure what he's looking for as far as what I am, but I don't know. He just seems like I'm an outsider, and he sought me out, and that kind of piques my interest a little bit. I'm a little wary of most folks. I mean, no offense, but I'm a little wary of you all too, so
He seemed to know a lot. He knew Archificus. He knows a lot from what you're saying.
He does seem to know quite a few people. I mean, he seemed to nod his head a lot at folks, and just seemed to have a very good idea of what the goings on in this particular town was. I don't know much beyond that. Quite frankly, I don't know if I would even tell you, because I don't know Shang that well, and I'm afraid of what he might do, and I don't feel confident if I would like to continue my journey that he would allow me to do so if I said anything.
Oh. Well,
He talks nice, though.
That's true.
Better than me. Maybe not as good as you, Angene.
Oh, shucks.
I guess we'll just have to find out.
Yeah. Are we? So I assumed we had started moving towards or Pendleton. What
tell me?
time of day is it? It's noon, right?
Yeah.
Ish, like 12:30.
Yeah, if you guys are saddling up and heading out, yes, it's probably about noon, about that time.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you guys this: where would you go to look for Den?
The place we met him.
Okay, yeah. So, not a bad choice. So you guys continue to walk through the streets where you had originally seen him and Father Dakra and Third Mystery Man, where they were arguing. Don't remember if that was like later in. I think it was later in the day. I can't remember, but it was a different enough time to where seeing the street in a new light, you're able to figure out like, yeah, this is the corner. But there is it just looks like a corner in the suburbs of the city. There's no official looking buildings, or there's a few businesses around, but nothing that would match your expected prominence of an enterprise that would carry the weight of something that sounded as fancy as the Bureau would be. That was a lot of words.
Right.
So, where are we going again? You meeting someone here? We're supposed to fight him?
Yes. Don't see him around here.
Would you like me? I have quite a mighty voice. Would you like me to shout his name?
Sometimes a little bit of subtlety can do wonders.
I can whisper his name loudly instead.
Maybe we just look.
If you think about it this way, a single snowflake can't really knock down a mountain. Even a whole snowstorm, a whole blizzard can't knock down a mountain. But a glacier, over long periods of time, can. It's not about how much you put into things, it's about how you put them into play. So you might have a great big voice, but it might be better served staying silent when you need it, and then using it to your advantage when you're ready to.
He doesn't say anything, but he takes that to heart. He starts to contemplate that. He enjoyed that very much.
Real quick, meta. John, I meant to tell you earlier this week. So I believe I told you before that our normal session time goes to about 9:30.
Okay.
With my new schedule, I can push that a little later. I think we all agreed on like closer to 10:30. At the latest.
10 would be probably where I would have probably try to start to bow out, but that's up to you guys. I mean,
Okay.
that would be about the
I'm glad I
latest,
asked
but that's up to you guys.
So, does that work for you guys too?
That works.
Yeah.
Sure.
Perfect.
Fine.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Okay, so yes, as you guys are sitting as snow is starting to pile up on the streets beside you, people are just kind of going about their day around you. Every so often, maybe like once in the day, you can still hear like a small explosion that booms through the ground from Cade's workshop. But there is no sign of Den where you guys are currently looking.
Well, I suppose a person of such affluent means might be more around the area where the wealthier side of town, if you will.
That, or maybe Father Dakra knows where he's at. We could always go to his chapel.
Perhaps.
What would you guys like to do? You gotta tell me.
Well, let's head over there to the chapel.
Let's go ask.
Chapel to Azulf.
Azuth. Yeah, that one, I think either you guys saw it or he told you. It was one of the two, I'm pretty sure.
I just have it written down as he's the minister of the chapel to Azuth.
Yes.
Whether or not we know where that's actually at. But we've picked up some maps here and there, so...
I think it was a map of where the train is going.
I know we have train maps.
Yeah.
There's a map to the mine.
Alena and Angene make investigation checks.
All right. Investigation.
That's really just a matter of how fast you'll get there. Because you guys
14.
Okay. Oh, Alena, you actually still have inspiration.
And I'll use that inspiration. I'll use that.
Why not?
+4, so 18.
Okay, yeah. Angene, anything better?
Sorry. What'd you say?
Investigation?
Oh, an investigation? Sorry.
You're good. Gotta find the perfect lighting, John. A nat 1. Okay, so Alena and Angene bringing up your guys' average nat 1 score.
Let's go.
Hooray!
Yeah, so as Alena is like, I think I remember seeing a giant floating fiery hand in the district when we passed the... And Angene's like, that iceberg thing, yeah. That was deep. That was really good. And Elena's like, what?
I don't know what you're talking about, but it's this way.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, you guys... you guys continue to go through the streets of this mountainous city, and you're able to probably with an 18 relatively quickly. So let's say less than an hour. So time of day from going from the Volley Tavern to where you needed to go to the temple, probably less than 2 hours. I'm gonna skip this song real quick. There we go. So yes, as you guys approach the Temple of Azuth, you remember that when you had first met Father Dakra, on his robes, sorry, I don't know if you can see my hand, over his heart, he actually had an embroidered design of what looked to be a left hand pointed, and sort of, his was not actually a flame, but it was outlined in a very rich red fabric of some kind. And you guys are, once you see the Temple of Azuth, it's very hard not to see, as above the temple there is the same hand, the same position and layout where all of the fingers are, only this one, rather than being outlined in fabric, actually stands above the temple on its own and is outlined in fire, and it stands in a noiseless flame. Once you get there, it does seem like there was some kind of service just ending, as people are going about to return to the normal schedule of their day. And Father Dakar, you do see him on the outside, shaking people's hands, nodding to them as they leave. You know, Azuth, may he be with you. Azuth, may he be with you. And sees you all approach. Hello. It's good to
Greetings,
see you.
Father.
It's good to see you all again. Are you well?
We're doing pretty good, actually. We're looking for Den. We're not sure where he's at, and we're hoping that you would know where he might be.
Well, he wouldn't be in a religious service.
We realize that, but...
Well, my, what is today? The 3rd. Let me just check what day of the week that is real quick. Oh my
Last
gosh,
session 13 was July 3rd.
No, I mean like the in-world time.
Yeah. Yeah, July 3rd,
July 3rd.
2997.
A Saturday, perfect.
Saturday. I will write that down too.
It is a Saturday, so if he were to be, sorry, it's hard to pull out of an accent. If he were to be anywhere, he would likely be in his office. The man is a bit of a workaholic. However, that is far across the city. Yeah, do you know where their offices are?
We don't.
Oh, well, and he looks, their buildings are so blastedly tall these days. And he's like orienting himself. We face the east. So, the walls where you came in, you may have noticed that they have a number of spires and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
The Bureau, as they oversee much of the travel, they like to know when trains are coming in, when they are going, and that kind of thing. And so their offices are typically located near the front of Fury Keep. The building is very hard to miss. It's made of very fine stone, lots of train themes going on there. He should be there. Just if you can ask for him.
What is the building called?
Oh, jeez.
Or the organization he works for?
The Locomotive Registry? Oh my, it's Locomotive Registry, doesn't it? LRDB. The Locomotive Registry and Destination Bureau. It's a very long name.
Thank you. I think we can hopefully find it from here. I guess, are you guys ready to head out then?
No.
And
Yeah.
we'll be back a little later to help you out too, but we really need to get this piece taken care of, and be happy to help you as well, Father.
Of course, yes. Do you require any kind of help from my end as to my request?
Not yet. We will definitely have to come back to get a few more details, but
Of course.
we'll be back.
And like before you guys leave, he's would you care to make a donation to the Holy Faith of Azuth today? Like looking like Alena like right in the eye.
Sure, I'll give him a gold coin.
Oh my, Azuth, thanks you for your wondrous generosity.
And yes, we'll be around to help you figure out who's accusing you.
Thank you. And you can see he like real quick, like he's got like a little notepad under the donation basket, and he writes down 1 gold. Thank you again.
You're welcome. And thank you for the information. We should be on our way.
Of course. May Azuth guide you. Yes, so you guys are...
Hey, Alena, he should be paying us to help him out.
That'll come later.
Alright.
Alright. Yes.
Hey, a donation to his church.
Signy, if people ask you for money, you don't have to give it to them.
I don't have much to give, so I usually trade in pelts if they would offer my services. I'm more than happy to pay in maybe a fox pelt or a deer pelt. I could hunt for them. I'm more than happy to, but gold and silver and all this change, as you call it, we don't often deal with that. But I'm happy to, try to make some money. That seems to be important to you all. But I have, and he like shows his armor and kind of like pulls it down a little bit. It's like I can trade this if someone would be willing to do services for us. You are my teachers. I do what you would like me to do.
Well, and Harratuk, he did give us information about where to find Den. We would have been walking around the city aimlessly without that, so what's 1 gold to his church?
Yeah, I just shrug or something. Alright.
Harratuk shrugs or something. Yeah, as you guys are making your way through the streets and the sun is just beginning to make its way down towards the west side of the sky, just cresting the mountains where you guys are and highlighting all of these snow-covered buildings. Before long, you guys do get to the front of the gate. I don't want to take up too much time with descriptors or walking. You are able to locate the most official-looking building in probably most of the greater Fury Keep area. And there are very subtle little detailings wherein... So, the brick of the building you can see is... if you guys remember the like sort of hierarchy of the styles of homes, the bureau has a very large space of its own carved just behind the main defensive wall that you guys had walked through to get into the city. And Karl could tell even from where you guys are standing in the street that the stone is exquisite. It is pristinely carved. Every so often there appear to be like where the stones are slightly jutting out from the wall in a little train shape, and there appear to be like little tracks carved into the stone kind of along where you guys are walking, at least in the stone that you can see that isn't snow covered. Within the building,
it's beautiful.
Within the building, it is just as finely made as the outside, fine marble floorings, very similar to the flooring you guys had seen in Nero's place. It seems that maybe he knew or would have had contact with the same architect and who had access to these finer materials. You guys are able to ask around, like, hey, do you know where Den is? We have a meeting with him, and they're kind of like, and then you guys show them that you actually have papers with his name on it, and there are a number of Masonric defenders around, and they're like, oh, well, yes, right this way, and they bring you up to his office. So Den is in his office, looking looking down at his papers. He appears to be stressed. He has his hands sort of rubbing his temples as he is writing down on some papers. And he is so engrossed in his work, he actually doesn't notice you guys come in.
Dan, I knock on the door a little bit.
Yes.
It's us. We're back.
Oh, it's us.
It's us.
Oh. Well, yes, please, come in. Close the door.
I close the door.
And he, shuffles his papers. This can all wait for later. I say, how did it go? And who is this? Looking at Signy.
Oh, this is Signy. He's our new associate.
Did you meet him in the mines?
No, we met him this morning. He's good. Angene will vouch for him. That's the whole half-orc thing that they got going.
Yeah.
Sydney nods vigorously.
He'll... Why not? I see. Very well. How did it go? I've heard interesting rumors.
Well, to be honest, we had to kind of enter in less than, extra legal ways. There was an open shaft that we may or may not have broken into it.
And
the mages there
I may or may not have heard that bit of information.
Of course. Need to know. Got to. The mages were very, very insistent that the paper that you gave us did not matter to them. So, I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. But they seem to be very...
I say, Albin, who didn't take the papers?
Well, these mages, I cannot remember their names, but one had a very large mane about him. I'm remembering that correctly, yes?
Yes. You actually didn't get his name, yeah.
Right. He was a very large individual with a large mane.
Was he wearing white clothing?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Oh, dear. Yes, I say. That would be Camarilla Series.
Ooh.
I can spell that later. Yes, he is, oh dear, how do I say this? Involved in... Oh dear. Words find me now. He is involved in the upper class, more private... No, that's not the words. Classified. He is involved in the classified investigations for the university.
Ooh. Well, he may have been a very investigative individual, but was not very perceptive, as we were able to enter without his detection, despite our larger frames.
I commend you on that feat, my boy.
Well, I appreciate that. Again, not that I'm saying we performed anything of an illegal nature. Of course.
Of course.
But we managed to break in, and there seemed to be some kind of rock golem creatures milling about the mines, and then
Golems?
yes, some rocky creatures. I'm not certain. It seemed to be of magical origins.
Well, I can tell you that we did not put those in.
Must have been the other parties involved, if you will.
Well, this is valuable information, as if the mages, I say, if they were going to enter the mines, I say, then they'd probably want to protect whatever it was that maybe they found.
Ah, yes, about that.
And he
There was,
looks at you. Yes?
Yes. There was some form of magical entity within. There was
Other than other than the stones?
Oh yeah, yes, indeed. If I may say, they were a bit ethereal. They seem to be composed entirely of magic. I've never really interacted with an entity such as this, but
and he'll sit back down behind his desk and put his hands together.
Yes, we had to basically convince it that whatever power lied in there would not be abused.
Abused?
Yes. It was very intent on that the magic within was not something that could be handed out trivially, and we assured it that no magic would ever be abused. It seemed to be okay with our answer, and then it left.
I see. I believe you guys made introductions when you met. The first time you met. So he'll look at Karl. Lots of Karl picks today. Karl, my boy. Would you mind handing me that bottle there, just behind you on the table?
I'll reach over for it and hand it to him.
Yeah, when Karl turns around, he can see on this little, very ornate trolley these very finely carved glass. What are they called? Decanters. Very finely made glass decanters, each one with a different coloration of liquid within them. Either one's fine. And he pours himself a stout drink. Takes a small swig. And this is all news to Signy as well. This part was left out the first time he heard it. Well, I will confess to you boys that I do not know what in the blue blazes that power could be. And the mere fact that they were involved, they being the university, of course, is more than a little alarming. And did he mention what was behind the door?
No.
Okay. I was just trying to remember. What on earth could they be after? I will confess, I was aware of the power that you spoke of, and I'm glad that you told me. It means I can trust you. We were not able to get past it. Did you see what was there? And he'll gesture to all of you, if anybody else.
I didn't see anything.
Give me one moment.
You're good.
Nope.
Well,
I didn't see anything. I wasn't even there, so.
There were some rings that were floating with a purple veil, and then they turned into this energy being. We
What?
fought some rock monsters.
Sorry, he doesn't say what. He says, what?
Yeah, the rock monsters. They were.
No. After that.
The rings.
Before that.
Yeah, energy being. Purple veil.
That one.
Purple veil.
I would wish to know, and just as soon as you guys are talking, you can hear this. You can hear the door open behind you, and he very angrily, "We're having a..." And he turns, white as a ghost.
The lion guy.
What'd you say?
Is it the lion guy?
No. So he was actually already pale, but he turns white as a ghost. And behind you guys, you will find out who steps in, because we are gonna take a quick 10-minute break.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do need
Dun dun dun.
So we'll be back in 10 minutes. It is 9:06. We'll take a quick break, and we will be back with what exactly enters the door, or who. So we will see you guys in 10 minutes. Be right back.
yes, great time. Want to go back already.
Okay, so right before we had left off there, you guys had found, you guys were able to find Den Skindleton in his office of the Locomotive Registry and Destination Bureau. It's a very long name. I can barely remember it. You were able to tell him most of the plans, or I'm sorry, most of the things that happened to you guys when you were within the mountain and your interaction with somebody who he has identified as this very high-ranking person associated with the University of Camarilla. And his name is Pia Menrali Yulenskinova. And
You're really just challenging us here, aren't we?
And as he was talking to you guys, he was deep in thought or getting ready to say something else to you guys when the door had suddenly opened, and he has a very stunned look on his face. So as you guys are all kind of turned to look at whatever the heck just like drained the soul from this man's body, number one, she has an entourage of 8 Masonric defenders with her, who, if there was any space left in the room with you guys in there, they quickly occupy that space, as well as 2 spots out by the door on the outside. She appears very, very well put together. Let me roll a d4, and if it's Karl again, I'm gonna roll somebody else. Harratuk. Make me a general wisdom check. See if the dots kind of align themselves here.
Natural 20.
Oh! Okay.
Nice.
Notes,
Minus
notes.
1.
So, as soon as she enters the room, while Harratuk can't put his finger on it, although it'll become more clear as the descriptions go on, Harratuk immediately is like, somehow, some way, she is on the same wavelength of the airs she puts off as Lord Baskins. It's maybe difficult to say why, but she's very prim, very proper. She is extraordinarily well put together. She has hair that goes down to about her shoulders, and they are in not a hair out of place, perfect curls all around. She enters the room, and Harratuk just immediately, like, the longer she's here and the more she does, the more Baskins-y he feels she to be associated with. She has a perfect smile. And while I do not have perfect speech, especially when I'm very tired, I'm going to do my best. Gentlemen. Hello.
Who are you?
I am Amaris. I was informed of your arrival a few days ago. And I do believe, if the record is to stay accurate... There we go, sorry. Always have to have a little bit better song choice. Now, I'm sure you, as anyone else, is aware that word of mouth can become very distorted very quickly. And I would love to hear it from you. Is it true that you came here all the way from Illuy Vale?
Ooh, yes, ma'am.
Wondrous. Now, I have a few questions, if you don't mind. And
Of course.
if anyone were to look at Den, he is like trying to make himself as small as possible, like taking drinks where he can squeeze them in. Now, it is no short journey from Eloy Vale to Fury Keep. Why, a journey to Onirland alone is quite the train ride. And there are no trains to Eloy Vale. So I wonder, you appear to be a rather scrappy band, if I may speak bluntly. And not many people in your condition, shall we call it, would be able to afford such an excursion. Now, I have another question. Are you familiar with a man named Hadrian Baskins?
Is that his first name?
Is that like a
I've
dessert?
never heard his first name before.
Sounds edible.
Yes. It seems as though you are familiar with him.
No, never heard of him.
Is that how you say it? Huh. No, we haven't heard of him. Yes, that is his name. He and I go back. Not quite a long way, but we have found ourselves meeting one another at parties and social events and so forth.
Are you his girlfriend?
No.
Cousin?
No. We are not.
Did he send you here?
No. We are not friends. We
Oh,
are
okay. Easy.
What is your relationship with him?
An interesting question, and one eerily similar to what I was going to ask you. Now here I am, left to wonder how a few individuals who otherwise would not be able to afford such a trip are suddenly within my walls.
I can assure you, ma'am, our relationship with Hadrian Baskins is quite antagonistic in nature.
We hate the fucker.
Make a persuasion check.
Harratuk.
I'll give you.
Make a persuasion check.
I'll give you advantage.
Oh.
Vinny, we've had this talk before. You're not level 3. You almost eloquent bastard.
Did Karl say something about Harratuk?
I was gonna say, I point a thumb at Harratuk and say, you wouldn't believe what he had to do to get that money.
You said at advantage or straight?
Kyle, did you roll?
Oh, did you want me to?
It's up to you guys. If Kyle,
You can have. Go ahead, Vinny. Have the advantage.
There you go.
Okay. Persuasion.
Horrific insight check on my part, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, so that is a 18.
So yeah, it looks like she was going to press that a little bit before Alena just comes in. No, we hate that fucker. I see. Well, to... And can you guys hear me all right? She's a very careful spoken... Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
He and I do go back. Not a long way, as I mentioned. And so, I believe you. So there's no need for me to ask if he sent you here or not. I can't readjust.
I can assure you, ma'am,
fast enough.
he probably wishes we didn't leave. He probably wishes he could have persecuted us. I don't know, prosecuted us. So I assure you, any relationship, it was better that we did not stay at Illuy Vale, because he did not seem to be too keen on our existence.
Prosecution? Why would he prosecute you?
We did something he didn't like.
Hey, we didn't help him.
Yeah.
In what way, if I might ask?
He wanted something and we gave it to someone else.
And what would
It was-
this thing be? I don't like to dwell in vagaries. It is very, very important for someone in a position such as mine to have very refined speech. And so,
There was
if you wouldn't mind providing a bit more clarity.
there was a mad mage that he wanted, and instead of us handing him over to Baskins, we handed him over to someone else.
A mad mage?
Yes. Baskel, the mad mage. Not really mad, though. He wasn't angry, so I'm not sure why they call him mad, but...
Do you have any insight as to why he may have been after this person?
Ask him.
Reading through the notes that I kind of took. Baskel wanted some sort of justice. He and his friend were trying to summon some sort of demon. We kind of put a stop to it, but Baskins wanted the demon, but we didn't give him it, and that's kind of the gist of it.
Is this something to do with the slavery aspect of it?
Yes, that too. The slavery at Illuy Vale. It seems like he wants to really carve down on it, but there are other people there that kind of want to get rid of it. It's there's a whole situation over there.
End of a political mess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of everything, if it is even half true that you told me, I do enjoy hearing.
You can ask.
What was that?
You can ask Lord Baskins. He does not like us.
No, I prefer.
I think he tried to kill us on the way out of town. Honestly.
I prefer to keep my communications with him as brief as possible. And based on the information...
Insight check. Do I believe that she hates Lord Baskins too?
Yeah, you insight check.
Sweet. Wanted to do this.
Does she believe her?
Doth thou believe?
There we go. 18 plus 3, 21.
Ooh. Did we lose Jake? Is he in here?
I'm here. I can hear and see you guys, but I'm on my phone.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you're still here. So, at the moment, well, she's already admitted affiliation, so, the emotion that Alena is picking up off of Amaris is probably one of the most genuine and, what's the word? I don't want to say it's not passionate dislike. It's vehement. Alena is just, she can pick up this seething dislike of Lord Baskins. It is very genuine.
Cool.
And Alena, she knows, or she can pick up that when she said she's very careful with the way that she speaks, she means it.
I'm gonna kind of, hearing the way that she's speaking and everything, he's just like, ma'am, I feel as though it is more prudent to be forthright with you,
Please
especially
do.
on this matter.
Yes.
We arrived here with the help of I suppose a friend would be a term for him.
Hey.
He was able to provide us travel here, as he frequently travels betwixt the city and Ilui Vale. We are simply here as a stop on our journey, if you will. We were taken in some manner that we have not resolved the true nature of. But we were taken from our homes, which seem to be scattered all over the map, and brought to Ilui Vale under questionable circumstances, and employed as slaves in their system there. We managed to win our freedom, but in doing so attracted the unwanted attention of this Baskins, or as he prefers to go by, Lord Baskins. Mm-hmm. And I make a big flare of just how ridiculous that is.
Yeah, and I'll say with Alena, with that insight check, when Angene says Lord Baskins, it's almost like there's an infestation in her skin that it disturbs her to a level that is visceral. She and Alena can rather admire how well she's actually keeping it together, but Alena she's just picking it up right now.
They have some history, and she absolutely hates him. Gotcha.
The mention of Lord seems to have done it.
I admit that I don't necessarily. I've heard of many lords and ladies. I do not particularly think that it is one that he has earned, not unlawfully, but amorally, it would appear. And he, despite his best efforts, we managed to befriend a couple of rather powerful individuals, or at least one, and in doing so shielded us from his wrath over our actions. And I think a combination of wishing to return home and not wishing to see what that wrath would entail, we made our way out of Ilui Vale. Much as Alena here had said, we were on our way out, and he threatened us. Pretty scary moment, because it's clear that he is willing and capable of doing horrific things. I am not particularly excited about the prospect of having to deal with him again, and I would rather not seek it out. But I could understand where somebody might want him knocked down a peg or two.
As much as I would enjoy such a display to affect him in such a negative way, he is in command of his own little sect, and I am in mine. And as long as there is nothing remaining between you that would draw his interest here, or mine there, then there will be no problem between us.
Of course, my lady. I assure you, no ties remain.
That is something truly excellent to hear. Well, I believe that brings our formalities to an end. How long will you be staying in Fury Keep?
Until we're ready to move on to the next place. It may be a week, it may be a couple of, it might be a month. I'm not entirely certain.
Fair. And how is Nero these days?
He's weird.
He's enjoyable in his own quirky way. And how is Sindri?
Doing well. As well as I suppose.
Good. Well, should you be here long enough, we do have local elections coming, and should you find yourself at a booth, I kindly ask for your vote.
Would gladly consider it, ma'am.
I appreciate that, as many of the other aristocrats on the board care not for these one of the few times I am at a loss for a proper explanation of the current situation in which we find ourselves. These public, semi-public social gatherings in which I can see I'm sorry if you guys can hear fireworks going off in the background. Why right now? I don't know. But anyway.
Marco.
Many of the other aristocrats do not put the time in to meet the people whom they are supposed to represent, and I believe that should be a key feature of our society. And so if that is something with which you agree, I hope that will sway your vote in my favor.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, madam. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yes.
And I graciously bow.
She slightly nods back. And she looks around at the Masonic defenders who are around her. There were 2 outside. 2 will exit first, and each of them will look around, and then they'll give some sort of quick signal, and she will exit with the remaining 4 who were in the room with you guys. And they leave the door open, and Den is still back in his chair, he is sweating bullets right now.
I'm going to go ahead and close the door behind her, just ever so slowly. Not conspicuously slamming it,
Yeah,
but just you know, back to our business. Right. That was interesting. So,
She seems nice.
Well, it's
yeah,
an
I liked
election.
it. Yeah. What is that?
Can we vote? We're not citizens of the city.
Yeah. She's a little lax on the laws there. I
guess we'll figure it out. So, Den, where were we?
Yes, indeed.
Den. I start tapping his shoulder.
Yes.
Where were we? You're talking about the mines and the magic and.
Okay. Real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and cast heroism on him.
Remind me real quick what that does.
He can't be affected by the frightened effect. Okay. And he gains whatever health, temporary hit points.
Temporary. Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. So, yes, prior he was yeah, it's okay. We'll leave it. So, is that verbal, somatic? What are the components?
Verbal and somatic.
Okay, so what does just like a quick gesture? What is On gonna do?
Oh. Give me 1 second. I have it written down. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Oh, I had it open and it's not open anymore.
I don't know why, man. This playlist is picking the really loud songs.
Well, no, I didn't have that one finished. Damn it. Alright. Working on that one. But, yes, I just basically reach over and I say, hey, I know that was pretty intense, but it'll be okay. And I just place a hand on his shoulder. Yeah, because I can't remember. Yeah, it's a touch. I have to touch as well. So.
Hey, Dad, have you seen
Yeah, and as he reaches over and touches Den, he can feel the stress relieve from his shoulders. He lowers his drink and he doesn't like extend all of his arms out or anything, but he was very shrunken, very small target, and he brings his arms out, puts the glass on his desk. Yes, forgive me, I was not expecting such a visitor at this time. And he looks at Alena. Did you ask me something, dear?
Yes, where were we? The conversation, the mines.
Yes. You had ran into the same force that prevented us from continuing on, I believe.
And the purple veil, you were...
Yes, were you able to find out what lay beyond?
Well, that's what Angene was talking about. He was able to get through.
And this is
right.
Now cleared, and we are free to resume our work.
That's what I would assume.
We believe so.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, and he starts going through a few papers on his desk. Yes, I will have to file those in the morning. I am not quite myself right now. Oh dear. Thank you all for your work. I don't believe we agreed on a total summation, but he pulls that he reaches in a drawer. And Alena.
Yes.
He has a very finely made. It appears to be made of some kind of hide or leather, some black leather. And on it you can see in very nice embroidered like calligraphy lettering is PK Fury Keep. 200 gold coins for your help.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah, yes. That's perfect. We'll split that with the party here in a little bit.
Of course, yes, please, do with it as you see fit. You have saved me a tremendous amount of time, money, and man hours, as well as apparently a shifting dynamic with the mages, which is always exciting to hear.
We're glad we could help, and apologies. It seems like you wouldn't have had to have gone through whatever stress that may have caused you if we were not here at this moment. So,
Yes.
our deepest apologies. Yeah, thank you we appreciate the business. Maybe in the future we can find other more profitable ventures.
You will be first on my list of people to call.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so we each get...
Are you sharing it with your guests?
Yes.
Okay.
33 gold, and then... Because it's 33.3 repeating, so... We'll just 33 gold. I don't want to do math. 33 gold. The 0.3 remainder just goes poof.
So
wouldn't that be silver?
You each get 33.
It would be, yeah.
You each get 33, and then there's 2 left over, so you can have a community pot, or whoever wants to hang on to that.
I like that idea. Having like a ring breakers fund. There is definitely a part of this where I'm like, I feel bad that like certain people end up paying more and everything, and I feel like Angene would be like, well, we should just have an equal share and everything, you know?
Didn't Karl and Alena just pay for our rooms?
There you go.
Yeah.
They get the extra 2 gold.
Yeah.
2.
Okay, so I'll add 1 extra.
So, Alena and Karl, I think you guys got 34 then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Excellent.
So glad that undergraduate degree came in handy.
And that was what's your character's name?
Signy.
Signy also gets the 33.
Yep.
So divided that by the 6. Okay.
I'm not sure what I did, but thanks.
You joined the group at an opportune moment.
All right,
Hey,
I'll take it. Round's next on me, I guess.
Yeah, and this
It's
is
walking around money.
Guys, guess what? We now have a piece what we would have needed to buy ourselves out.
That's insane.
Wild.
Well, now we can use that money for other things.
Yeah. I mean, I have enough money to pay off Carlosi. Crazy. Yeah, that'd be nice. A burden off of my parents and me.
I definitely have some debts to pay off myself.
Hey, I could do with a bit of money.
Wonderful.
And yeah, Den is like, this is a strangely personal conversation.
Sorry. Thank you, Dan. If you do need anything else, we'll be around town for a little while. Probably with Nero or Sindri, but
Nero.
we'll be around.
That old bean. Yes, well, give my warm My warmest greetings to the Evanders, all of them.
We will. And Alena will start walking out.
Yep, I'll follow.
Hey, have
And,
a good night.
Last question before we end the stream for the next couple weeks. Where would you guys like to go next? Or would you rather plan for next time?
Signy would like to pipe up as we're leaving, if you don't mind. He goes, the guys seem to know a lot of information. You guys obviously know a little more powerful things. Did you have any plans for how to maybe get a little more powerful? Maybe finding some things, looking for stuff, just some undercover things, just in general.
Well, information is pretty key, and I know Father Dakra has some people are accusing him of mishandling money, and I know there's some hunters that are blaming the mages for the weather. So if we can find out why some of these things are happening, we can get ourselves into some positions of power pretty easily.
Information is important.
I mean, the conversation with Amaris there would, if she's on our side, and who knows where we could get.
Indeed.
We'll just really get to see the city.
Yeah.
I don't know. She didn't look very strong to me. I mean, but that's just me. Looked a little small.
That's just like how...
yeah, I know. The glacier. Yeah, I heard. Well,
and Kyle,
come along for the ride wherever you want to go.
Kyle, to answer the question I think you were going to ask, it's about between 5 and 6 o'clock right now.
Okay. Because meta-wise, my thought for the group was either, talk to Father Dakra and start going towards what people are accusing of. And for whatever reason, I have written down that he was saying some hunters are blaming the mages for the weather. So if we can find whoever these hunters are. So for the information we have right now, I think Father Dakra is where we should go.
I agree.
Go along with that. Yeah.
And it's pretty fresh in our minds because, we were just there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so next session, we'll pick up around his temple, or at whatever time of night it would be, probably closer to 7, maybe, or you guys can get there pretty quick, maybe before 7. But
we just came from there to here, so
yes,
just retrace those steps.
Yeah, and you know where you're going this time. The trip back is always faster. Oh yeah. A lot happened, and I'm very excited for everything to connect when it all comes out. whenever it is, it'll be really cool. So I'm very excited for that. That was a really heavy RP episode. John, I hope it wasn't too much. Or just
no, I'm enticed by the lore. I'm gonna start catching the streams, even if I'm not gonna be a guest. I think I'm really, really excited. I think Signy's really excited to start swinging his axe.
I'm ready to see him in action.
I should have been ready for the literal interpretations of things. I wasn't ready for it. And then,
so not to peek behind the veil too much, but his wisdom's pretty average, but his intelligence is a little low. So he understands some social situations, but he doesn't know the words to articulate what he's trying to say. So that's what I'm trying to convey is he kind of gets it, but he's not able to tell you that he gets it.
Reciprocate.
But that's kind of where Elena's at too, but which is also why it's just the flood of information. Once you start talking, I ain't gonna stop.
Exactly. That's kind of where he was talking about what's his name? I have it here, Shang and stuff, and he was kind of letting more information out than he probably should have. He was just oh yeah, obviously this guy's been looking at people, yeah, that's what I've observed, so, he's an interesting character, but I love the meme that you put in the Discord, by the way. That was fantastic.
Oh, what was it? I can't pull things up on stream.
Yeah.
It was the scene from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood where General Armstrong and the teacher's husband is like shaking hands, and it's like super dramatic and
The
muscly.
flex off, yeah.
And he put like Signy on one and like Harratuk on the other. It really was, and that's funny because like you'll find out more if we ever get into a combat. But like I really based him on General Armstrong, so it actually worked really well.
I love how
Down the
Harratuk was
Armstrong
Armstrong.
family line.
Well,
I had a blast, man. This was great. I'm excited. If I'm welcome back, I'm happy to join next session until until we part ways. Whenever the plot line kind of separates, I'm happy to keep joining until that happens.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I need to rest. I am a tired boy.
I'm
Night
gonna
Sweet
play
Prince.
Phasmophobia.
Oh,
Oh, have fun.
to the stream, to everybody
on
who
a
came
Genshin.
to hang out, thank you so much. Viking, as always, thank you for your crazy subs and everything that you do for the stream. We all really appreciate it. So group 2, my other team, they'll be back next Friday. These guys will be back in 2 weeks, which is, I think, the 29th. Same time, same place. So we will see you guys there. See ya.
Boy.
Bye.